Where is Sekou Kone? What's happening with Sekou Kone? What's going on with Sekou Kone Web? This is the most frequently asked questions everywhere I go when it comes to young players at Manchester United. Guess what? I've got an update for you concerning the future of the United midfield and what exactly the plan is with the new boss, Ruben Amorim. My name is Web. Like, share, and subscribe. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for making it into the new year. In case you're watching this in 2025, well, you are alive, you made it. You might want to pinch yourself as well, and thank the man above for making it into the new year, because it's not everyone. Look back at how difficult the year has been. It has been a difficult one for many of us, but you're here, and you've got to look forward to the future. Now, speaking of looking forward to the future, for Man United, we perhaps need to look forward to the future even more, because the past has been terrible. I just voted Man United as the worst team in the Premier League, probably in the world in 2024. And, well, it's painful to do that, but at times you've got to go down if you're going to get up and run. So it's okay. We can take steps back, but be sure, under Ruben Amorim and Ineos, with what they are cooking, we will be coming back. And trust me, a few people will get big knocked off on the way of our rise back to the top. But speaking of the future, I think Sekou Kone, without a shadow of a doubt, has shown the potential that he can be the future of the Man United midfield. Of course, history doesn't have it right when it comes to African players and how they perform for Man United, especially in midfield. I think the last nearly or successful, I should say, player to play in the Man United midfield from Africa was Quinton Fortune, the South African, way back, way back. You can struggle to recall anyone who came close. You can talk of Jemba, what a miss he was. There are so many who came later. But Sekou Kone is, I think, going to redefine the lack when it comes to African players at Man United. This is a kid who was directly signed from a team in Mali, in Africa, Guidas FC, after seeing him play at the Under-17 World Cup and in Morocco at the Under-18 tournament. And Man United were moved. The scouting team scouted him enough and said, this boy is good enough. They paid 1 million quid for him to join directly into the academy, but he was also already introduced to the senior team as he trained with them. Now, sadly, in a game, an under-21 game against Huddersfield Town, because he was trying to get minutes playing for such a big club. You don't just come from a one Guidas FC and you land straight into the first team of Man United, however good you are. It doesn't happen like that. So, especially not when you're 17. So this boy comes, plays a few minutes. I think he played 20 minutes in his first game for United. Then I think 45 minutes in another game. I think his first game must have been at Sunderland, the 20 minutes. Then he played 45, then gets injured against Huddersfield Town. And it was looking good, I think, until he got injured. The first 20 minutes of that Huddersfield Town game, I watched it when he got injured, were good until later they figured him out and the guys were running all over him. Whenever he got the ball, there were guys around him. And they injured him eventually for him to live on crutches in that game. And, of course, he was kept out for weeks, which became months, because it's now over, I think, just under 2 months that he's been out, and he's not yet 100% fit and back playing. But he recently gave an update on his future, and he's progressing well, determined to work hard and fight to return and try to continue his fight for a place in the senior team. And of course, he knows there's so many doubters and naysayers, because many people are questioning his decision to jump straight from an African team, Mino in Africa, straight into the biggest football club in shambles, in Man United. But who would say no, honestly? If it's you, or if it's your child, and he gets such an opportunity, Man United calling, can you even say no? It's impossible. So I think it's only up to him now and his gods or his God to help him make it work. But in terms of what the plan for Amorim is, I clearly now that there are no major plans to sign players, of course, unless something happens and a player is sold and Man United gets the money to finance transfers. Ruben Amorim seems to be sure that the youngins Man United has can do the work, because I think the only department is focused on boosting is the left back. At least in January, they will try to forge something and see that they bring in someone. But in terms of midfield, I think Amorim has been impressed with Kobe Maino and how he can develop into a good player for him. Of course, he has got there. And Sekou Kone, he has not really got a chance to properly see him train, but he strongly believes he's a boy he can mold into a good player in the future. And Kone himself was speaking in this interview and was talking of how Amorim himself is a coach who loves to work with young kids and develop them. And that's the confidence he has got, saying that if he works so hard, he has got every chance to make it into the senior team. So the plan is there. And as Sir Jim Ratcliffe put it, when he just took over Man United, he clearly mentioned that the plan for him was never to sign the already finished products. And he used the example of Mbappe, because at that time Mbappe was unsettled with PSG and there was not certainty whether he was really joining Madrid, and people are talking of whether United could potentially go for him, and he clearly said, United is not going for no Mbappes, but they are looking to make the Mbappes for themselves. Now, this is one of those. You talk of, and by Mbappes, it's a figure of speech to mean world class top dollar players. So Sekou Kone is potentially that, and Amorim is the coach that in your sphere can polish or refine the roughs of these kids and grow them into world beaters or players, and that can or players that can be sold for good quid, or perhaps even players who can stay and become legends at Man United by competing at the topmost level and winning titles. So Sekou Kone is in the plans of the club. Someone was asking me whether he too will be loaned. No, not yet. It hasn't got to that point where he can be loaned. The idea is when he comes back and is fully fit, they want to give him a few minutes, because like I gave you in his background, this is a boy who was scouted directly from Africa. You don't slide him straight into the senior team. So the plan is for him to come back, first play a few games, get minutes in his feet with the juniors as he knocks and sniffs onto the door of the senior team training with them, for them to monitor his physique, his mentality, so that they see how ready he can be. But now first there's sort of it's sort of a setback. The injury he got is sort of a setback, because now he has first got to shed off the injury. But you can never know how a player is going to be when they return from injury, and how they might take how long they will take to recover, because each player takes a different time. Each one has a different body. So it's a bit of a setback, but there is a proper plan for him to be introduced into the senior team slowly, given the fact that he got that honor of training with them under Eric Ten Hag. So that's exactly what's going on. So Sekou Kone is in the big plans of Man United, him, and of course no one talks about Lucelle. I'm still doing more research about Lucelle as well. That's the winger we got from Crystal Palace. I'll talk about him as well and what the plan is for him. People are more excited about Kone, but Lucelle is the other guy that can certainly come in there and surprise us. But we'll talk more about him. I'm still trying to understand what exactly is going on with him, and how things are going for him that side. I'll get the facts and give them to you. So that's the plan for Sekou Kone. He's not on crutches no more. He's soon returning to training, and there's belief that his return is going to bring a new spark into the team. He spoke of Kobe Maino and how United gives opportunities to young kids, and it's good to hear that he has got that confidence that he will be given his time, and he seems to be hungry to come in and perform. So 2025 is there. The big decisions have got to be made, and trust me, these young kids will get their time. It's imperative, it's inevitable, because if there is no money, games have got to be played, and you either try out the youngsters you bought for money, or you stick to the old timers and they get you beat into relegation, which I don't think Ruben Amorim will be willing to oversee or preside over. So that's exactly what's happening. My name is Webb. This is the United Road Sport. I will be back later. Happy New Year once again. Peace, love, and harmony.